Steve, how would
Steve, how close were you to crying out there?
I was a little misty-eyed for sure. That was really cool. An amazing moment. Our crowd was great. Clay was great. You could see how much he enjoyed it, and beautiful scene.
Steve, how would you describe the fourth quarter? And then after the game, we saw you embrace Clay, and Steph comes over and embraces Clay. How would you describe just the fourth quarter and the immediate few minutes following the game here?
Well, it was, kind of similar to the second quarter, where they jumped us. We won the first and the third quarters pretty well, played really well. Ball was moving. Our defense was good. Second and fourth, we really struggled in both. And, they got off to that great start, took the lead, and just an incredible finish, anchored by Steph and Draymond. Steph on the offensive side, Draymond on the defensive side. It's amazing to watch those guys still after all these years, and couldn't be prouder of the team for a tough win against a great team.
How critical was Andrew's defense on Luka, particularly in that second half?
Yeah, Wiggs was great. I just think there has to be an accumulative effect on Luka. You can't stop him. He gets to so many shots, so you just have to try to make it difficult. And he played 41 minutes. Wiggs was draped all over him. And I thought maybe that affected the 3-point shooting a little bit. He was 2 for 10. So he's such a phenomenal player, but you just make it difficult, and I thought that's what Wiggs did.
There was a lot of talk before the game about Clay's emotions and everything, but do you think Steph had a little extra jolt tonight?
Yeah, for sure. And he was matched up against him defensively. We did our pregame scout and we went through the matchups, and it's almost surreal saying, "All right, Steph, you got Clay." I mean, and Steph smiled as soon as he saw the matchups. He just I looked over at him and he smiled, kind of shook his head like, "This is weird," So it was a strange night in that regard, but ultimately, it was a great night. Clay hit some big shots and 22 points and made his mark on the game, and obviously we were thrilled to come away with the win, and then to see the emotion in the crowd and the love for Clay was fantastic.
A little bit of that trash talk happening between Draymond, Steph, and Clay. Also, a little peek into what practices have been like for the past.
I didn't notice. Were they?
Well, I mean, Clay did Steph's shimmy, like someone else did Clay's snarl. Draymond was chirping at him. Was that what it was like in practice with those three guys when they were going up against each other? Yeah. Those guys. There were so many moments together, and there's always trash talk. In the NBA and practices, it's almost always in fun, and so those guys had a lot of moments together over the last 12, 13 years.
Steve, it seems like you guys had a tough time scoring with Steph off the court. Do you think this was more of an aberration night because the bench has obviously been good, or is there something there like you got to figure out ways to generate better offense when he's
for sure we have to generate better offense. We've had some really good nights without Steph and good moments without Steph, but it's always going to be harder without him on the floor, and we've got to execute better. We've got to continue to practice and look at the lineups that we're putting out there, but I'm not worried about that. I love the depth on this team. We have a lot of options. Early in the season, we're still learning a lot about our team, and so we'll get better.
You mentioned Steph being extra charged up. Did you feel that from Draymond right away, too, that this was kind of – Yeah. And what does that version of Draymond do?
I mean, you saw down the stretch, Chris DeMarco said he was playing like it was Game 7 of the finals, That's Draymond. He's the ultimate competitor, and it did feel like a big night, Obviously it was with Clay coming back and the defending conference champions in the house. So it felt like a big night, and our guys responded.
When you see the Mavericks getting fat with Steph on the bench there and taking the lead, how do you dictate when Steph comes back? And
yeah, I mean, we try to we map out, I think, 34 minutes every night for him, and we try to keep it as close to that as possible. We've been lucky this year. We've been able to get some big wins and keep his minutes down. But the last two games, OKC played 36, tonight 35. As long as that's the heavy night for him and not 41, 42, I think we'll be able to keep him going over the course of the season.
when he's hitting big shot after big shot, what are you thinking over there watching it?
Good job, Steph. Yeah, I've been watching this for a long time. It never gets old. It's incredible watching him. It really is. And you just think every shot's going in, and he loves it. He loves the moment.
Is there any part of you that is relieved that this night is over? And then, broadly speaking, I mean, as you know, in this league, players move around all the time.
Yeah.
Will you ever get to a point where it's just normal to play against Clay?
Probably not. Probably not. This is the exception, not the rule. I mean, the rule is, like you said, you see players who've played for you all the time, given how much movement there is in the league. But Clay, being the franchise icon, 13-year warrior, probably never going to feel totally normal. Thank you.